In today's video, I'm going to share with you a little bit of my story. Before I quit my job to start farming, I passed through hard times, and it might help someone who is working in diaspora, a stay-home mom, someone who has a job that is unstable. So before we go into this video, I want to share with you a little bit of how I feed this chicken. I didn't change the feed formula, but they're consuming maize bran 100 kilograms, broken maize 100 kilograms, 50 kilograms of a broiler concentrate. I added in some 2 kilograms of limestone, some 20 kilograms of fish meal, and charcoal to prevent coccidiosis. The only thing I do is to increase on the kilograms of the feeds when I'm mixing up the chicken feeds, because every day they grow older. So once they start to increase on their weight, you have to increase on the kilograms of feeds they have to eat. So that is all I do. So when I got out of school, I started to work for someone. So one day my boss was with his friend, and I asked them a simple thing about the road signs, and I would find some of the road signs that I could not understand, and I started asking them, when I find this arrow or this sign, road sign, what does it mean? They both had cars, and the way they first laughed at me, and the way they answered me lowered me down, and they showed me like I'm a kind of person who can never maybe own a car, maybe own anything in life. By that time I was earning very little, and yeah, maybe someone might think that if you're earning this much, you can never go to any step ahead or reach him or her. So there is a lot of people who are in this kind of situation. Someone might think that it is just little, but undermining someone, showing someone that you have no value, it means that you're taking that person for granted. You're taking that person as a useless person. But my advice to someone who is in those shoes, you might be a nanny somewhere, you might be working somewhere as you have a job, you might be a stay-home mom, and the situation you're passing through is really hard. What I learned, we should not ask people what we want to learn. Especially if you want something, if you want to do something, go ahead and do it. If you're passing through some hard times, please play your role and start something that you feel you want and maintain it, because once you get ideas from other people, some people are there to put you down, to show you that you are nothing, you can never reach where you're thinking you can. If you're working in diaspora and you feel the body is tired, your mind tells you that you should go home, and you think that the capital you have, the money you saved is not enough. I'm telling you, when you spend money in your home country, it's more cheaper than the money you spend outside your country. So that amount of money that you think it is small, it is not enough to start something, it can help you start a small business that will set you free. The job is unstable. Today is on, the next day the boss want to send you away. Please quit before it is too late. Do not use your savings on some things that cannot work for you, that cannot make money. Start something at home. Set your mind, your body free from prison. I'm telling you that when I quit, I had 1.8 million, but that is small amount of money, but it helped me to start something. It is very small, but it helped me. I just decided it is enough. Actually, I sat down and thought of what I was earning and where I am going. That is the time I decided, let me quit, let me start something else. So guys, I stopped lighting stoves, the chicks, when they made 6 weeks. I stopped lighting the stoves and the windows are open wide. Another thing, I sold some of the older birds to create space for the growing chicks. The eggs that were in stock helped me to buy or to stock the chicks feeds, and these feeds will push them up to 3 months, and the off layers, the money for the off layers will help me push this chicken up to the time of laying. A little bit of some money of the off layers, not all of it. For me, I quit my job to find peace, freedom, and I chose farming because it is working for me. Ladies and gentlemen, choose what you want because life is short. You can get out of that toxic job, however much it might be working well, and start over. Starting over life does not mean that you have to be with a lot of capital. You can start with small capital with freedom. What I mostly advise my friends that you can start over by giving yourself a break. What has failed, you have failed to work out, your work has failed to work for years. You try something else, try something new, even with a little money. If your body wants you to take a break, please do it. I remember when I was still working for my boss, the agreement was I work up to 7 p.m. But when there is a customer, I have to proceed with the work to continue and take care of the customer. So there was no extra payment, there was no extra transport, there was no nothing, and the next day you have to report in time. So there is time when you feel the body is tired, it is very tired, and it warns you that, you know what, I have to take a break. So if you're doing your own work, it is very easy to take a break. For me, when I'm doing poultry, there is days when I feel, I'm tired. So I force myself to do the work in that very day so that the next day I can rest. And it is very hard to do it on someone else's work, all on someone else's business. If you find yourself in that situation, please change. If you have ideas of starting your own business, you want farming, you want to raise chicken, you want to anything you want, please develop habits of how you can start, develop that business, you can succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, small things make bigger things. You cannot grow unless when you start something. So it's very good to start if you want. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our village with a lot of nature. Enjoy. Thanks a lot for watching. Let's meet.